Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. The Dead Sea Scrolls uncovered. You know, a lot of people forget, because the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's 2018, forget that from their discovery in 48 till like the 80s and early 90s, that you and I did not have access to most of the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think it was in Jordan, and they had kind of put them under lockdown. There's a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of different speculations. People are like, this proves Jesus, this proves different things. And it did, like with the Isaiah scroll and different things, it did prove a lot of the accuracy and historicity of Scripture. And there was people saying this disproves Scripture, and that's the reason that they're hiding them from us. And actually, I think it was Eisenman, maybe somebody else, that had to go in, and he just asked to see the Dead Sea Scrolls. He finally got in there, and he had like a hidden camera. And so he's like, he was taking pictures. And that's how the Dead Sea Scrolls began to come out. So let me just read this to you. It says, placed in caves almost 2,000 years ago and not discovered until 1947, the Dead Sea Scrolls provide a unique insight into Jewish and Christian origins. They have held a fascination over academics, religious leaders, and lay public alike for the last 45 years. From 1952, when a team of scholars was appointed and Cave Fort Qumran was discovered, from which the materials of this book are drawn, they have been under the control of the elite and secretive clique, See, they were just... However, in the autumn of 1991, this monopoly was effectively broken when the Huntington Library in California announced it would allow public access to its collection of Dead Sea Scrolls photographs, which I think those photographs were done undercover. This was soon followed by the publication of a facsimile edition by the Biblical Archaeological Society in Washington, D.C. Robert Eisenman was integrally involved in both events, and with Michael Wise has been working behind the scenes on the unpublished photographs for some time. Their discovery of a tiny scroll fragment of 6 lines referring to the execution or by a Masonic leader plunged them into a long-running debate. Okay, so just a lot of things here. Now, of course, Geza Vermes has what's known, as like the definitive look at the Dead Sea Scrolls right now. So here's a list of the stuff that's in here, of the different scrolls, because it's not all Christian, and most people think and assume it was done by the Essenes, which was a very ascetic sect. I've been over there to Qumran. I've been to the Essenic community, the different mikvahs they had, the Jewish ritual baths that they had over there. It's all fascinating. They get like an inch of water a year, inch of rain a year, maybe 2. It's right by the Dead Sea. You can see the Dead Sea from there. And so it's, it's very dry. So they have all these things that catch rainwater, whose name, I'm 52, I just can't remember like I used to. The name escapes me, but they catch rainwater and all this. And so it's just fascinating. And so this is what it's got in here. An amulet formula against evil spirits. The heir of light is coming. He loved his bodily emissions. A record of sectarian discipline. A paean for King Jonathan, Alexander Janneus. Okay, and then it's got the different symbols. And then it goes into some of how all this came to pass. I'll just read to you a little bit. In the spring of 1986, at the end of his stay in Jerusalem, Professor Eisenman went with the British scholar Philip Davies of the University of Sheffield to see one of the Israeli officials responsible with this, an intermediator between the Antiquities Department, now authority, and the international team, and the scrolls curator at the Israel Museum. They were told in those certain terms, you will not see the scrolls in your lifetime. So isn't that amazing? So photographs of the remaining unpublished Dead Sea Scrolls were made available to him. Now, of course, they've got the Museum of the Book. So let's take a look here. This is kind of what it looks like. So here is the transliteration and the translation. And so you can basically look and read the Dead Sea Scrolls from this. Now, a fascinating thing, like on eBay, you can buy this book, or you could, for like $3.85 and free shipping. It's from Barnes & Noble. And I'm thinking it's because it's dated, and Gaza Vermes has the real, considered to be authoritative translation. But this is really good. This is excellent. I've read through it at various times in my life, and I've never read them from cover to cover of what they've got, the different caves. I have done some study. Thomas Holland has really helped with this in his book Crowned with Glory, of the percentages of what conforms with the Septuagint, what conforms with the Masoretic text, and what's just generic and all this. So something you may want to study right here. This is Michael Bagent and Richard Lee, authors of Holy Blood, Holy Grail, and the Dead Sea Scrolls Deception. Man, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, that was a big, what was that about? That was about the Holy Grail. That was about, the Knights Templar and the Priory of Zion and secret societies going back centuries, I guess. And maybe the Merovingians having the sign of the cross, all of them born with the sign of the cross, and thinking that they're the offspring of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Strange stuff. And the bad thing is, if people believe strange stuff, strange things can happen. I'd prefer to live in truth. God bless. You may enjoy this book. Talk with you later in Jesus.